Hi, everyone. This is Kyle Kramer, the Executive Director at the Earth and Spirit Center once again, and I am joined by Bunny Nash. Hey, Bunny.
Good morning, Kyle. Good to see you today.
You too. Well, Bunny, you have long been involved with the Earth and Spirit Center as a mindfulness mentor. You have had a career in the school system and in counseling. I'm wondering if you can, before we jump into this latest course you're going to be offering with us, if you can say just a word or two about your own background so that I don't mangle it.
I've spent most of my career, many years, working with youth and families coming from challenging experiences, and have had wonderful opportunities to learn about ourselves and how things like stress that we'll be talking about here shortly factor into our daily lives and our own well-being. So
Yeah, well, you and I were talking before we hit record about like stress in our personal lives. So all of us manage that, of course. But you've also made a career out of engaging with difficult and stressful situations that folks encounter.
the students that I've worked with over the years have come in often very rough and struggling in facing a lot of challenges. And as we've learned to know what kinds of things work to help settle those more intense situations, we've found that things like mindfulness and understanding the science beneath mindfulness makes sense for all of us and plays into what we do. So I've really gained personally from the work that I've done over the years, sort of that give and take, learning from each other.
Well, it goes without saying that all of us are carrying plenty of stress, probably in general, certainly in the pandemic and otherwise. But this course that you're going to be offering this spring is called Embracing Resilience, Managing Stress with Mindfulness. It's a very similar, actually, sounding course title to our Basic Mindfulness for Stress Resilience. So I'm wondering if that basic mindfulness course helps one establish a mindfulness practice, makes the case that it is helpful in stress management. How does your particular course differ from that in terms of what it delivers?
I think we'll be looking fairly deeply at the science of stress and resilience and mindfulness, and understanding how that impacts our brains and our bodies and our spirits, and general. So through that, building tools and experiences that will help us manage and mitigate that daily stress, often dampening your stress response in the moment, ending the stress cycle instead of holding on to it. We often don't give ourselves that chance to really resolve the stress cycle before we stress again. And we keep that chronic stress. I mean, we're in that collective state of chronic stress as a culture right now, as a world, I think. And it's physiological. It's not just emotional and or psychological. And that's something that I think we've forgotten over the years, that there's a biology and a physiology to stress. And when we understand that, it's really empowering because it gives us the information we need to then mitigate or manage it better.
Oh, that sounds so needful right now, and I will certainly sign up for this course myself. Does a person need to have a prior meditation experience or an established meditation practice to benefit from this course?
I don't think so at all. I think certainly people that have a practice, I hope will understand a little bit more about why their practice is beneficial and why actual practice is important, not just I meditate every once in a blue moon, but that when we do whatever it is we're doing in a routine way, we build the pathways to make it useful to us, and it changes the architecture of our brains and bodies. So having a practice is fine, but we'll be exploring a lot of just experiences and practices that anybody can do throughout the day, not just in a meditation.
Okay, so in my mind, what I heard is just the distinction between these two courses is basic mindfulness starts you from ground zero, helps you establish a regular practice, whereas yours goes really deep into the science of stress management and provides specific mindfulness tools, whether or not someone has a regular mindfulness practice to help in that stress management. Did I get that about right?
I think so, and I think we'll be focusing on slowing down and taking the pause in our daily life. Our culture has traditionally done the opposite. We say, push through, just keep going, don't feel your feelings.
We're a gas pedal culture, not a brake pedal culture, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the science tells us that pushing through is not what is helpful to us, and that our own well-being is not going to be the best it can be when we're in overdrive. So we'll be looking at how to just sit back and take that pause and support our own well-being by understanding a little bit about the intersection between the science of mindfulness and the ancient wisdom of mindfulness. They go hand in hand.
Yep. And if I could just add a little sermonette on the end here, correct me if you think differently. If you are doing this kind of self-care and managing your own stress, you are going to show up better in your work life, in your relational life. And so, the Earth and Spirit Center really has a threefold mission of spiritual growth, connected with social justice and compassion, connected with ecological healing. So if you are doing this work on yourself, you're going to show up more available to those you care about in your community. You're going to show up in a way that's beneficial rather than destructive, we hope, to the natural world. So all of these things really are of a piece, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. And when we're in that stressed mode, our world becomes very small. It becomes us. When we're calm and in our thinking brains and our mindful brains, we're able to worry about or think about world peace in our community and
not worry.
Healthy. Well, right now, I think we're worried about it.
Okay, good point.
But we can embrace that. But the more stressed we get, the less we can focus on that, and the more we tune into just what's going on with ourselves. That's survival. That's, again, physiological. And so I hope that at the end of maybe the last week of the 4 weeks, we'll be talking a little bit about how the lack of the pause in our daily lives affects our culture and sort of on that broader scale.
Well, I'm probably first among the guilty there, so I'm taking this to heart. And again, this course is called, Bunny, Embracing Resilience, Managing Stress with Mindfulness. It begins on April 11th. It's a 4-week series in the evenings, 7 to 8:30. We intend at this point to have it in person, but of course we're making judgment calls about Omicron and other variants of COVID-19. So stay tuned for that, but let's hope that we'll be back in the barn for this. And Bunny, thank you so much. We really appreciate the great gifts that you bring to this mission.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be with you.